What's up, folks? Just 17 hours ago, as you and everyone else been following that Kamara and Matt Cap case that happened back in April, right here, 17 hours ago, supposed news: Kamara Anthony's parents accused of Corin stabbing. Supposed text chain goes viral. Here's some of the caption I'm reading. You wake up to a explosion on social media. It's not a rumor. It's not suspicion. It's full-blown firestorm. Screenshots of latest text messages have surfaced. Texts that prosecutors claim could connect Kamara Anthony's parents directly to the events that led to Allison Metcalf's stabbing. These messages are time-stamped, emotionally charged, and already spreading like wildfire across news feeds and group chats. According to court insiders, these are just casual conversations. They are being labeled as primitive indication revealing a potential knowledge of or involvement in the events led up to the incident. Basically, you can't claim, oh, I was using being such as no. If these text messages are true between his parents and him, they had this all planned out months in advance. It was not that spur of the moment killing somebody in self-defense claim. It's just full-blown murder. Pick first, second, and third degree. Right there. And each count carry what, 50 years. If that's true, then the whole family was involved. That means the whole family planned this out. And people like Charleston White, or that bitch, whatever her name is, are all been played. Black Lives Matter has been played. So that just tells you right there. And everything. And we've been covering it like I have been covering it since it happened. Here it is, July 28th. It's been what, May, June, July. It's 3 months of this going on. This trial and everything. I've been covering this. One's in Georgia and the other one that happened by the girl as staffer manager in Texas. But anyway, let's get down to the business right here. If somehow he gets free, somehow he buys his way out, I'm telling you, he would not be able to enjoy the summer, the Texas sunset. We might hear a news report of him, his mom, his dad, his sister, all his family members and loved ones might be found dead. Because there's some groups out in Texas who do not play that shit. And if you've been studying the case like I have been studying it, seen all the shit going on, you know good well, this was not a spur of the moment. This was full-blown killing. Meaning, they had his plan. He came to that school to cause trouble. And all those so-called people that his daddy paid for, everything, it's going to come to light. And all that money they have collected, still collecting on Allison Metcalf's death, will be going to light. And not only that, all the comments I have read has really made me sick to my stomach. I can't believe the shit some people say in these videos. I really can't believe that. It makes me sick. I mean, it really makes me sick to my stomach how some people can just justify and laugh about it. I mean, this person lost his life for crying out loud. I mean, lost his life. And y'all sending money to a killer. The person has a known record of violence. I read some of the comments in that GoFundMe page for him, like, yeah, another white boy dead. Glad to see another white person killed. Honky died. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What absolute fuck are you talking about? It does not matter if you black or white. You should not have lost your life. But clearly, these younger generations rather pull a knife or pull a gun and say they take an ass whooping the old-fashioned way. And then Charleston White talking about Metcalf are drug dealers. They're high on fentanyl. Their dad was a woman beater and everything like that. I did my research. I didn't see none of that shit there, okay? None of that. In the reports about the family. None of that at all. It goes to show you that people will play the race card without even thinking twice. It really goes to show you, man, there are people out there, there are sick pieces of shit out there that will actually pay the race card if they can't get their way. I mean, seriously. You sending money to a known killer who has a known arrest record, who is known to jump, steal, beat up people for his habit. But you send money. Then you got people attacking Sarah Field for doing her job as a reporter, threatening to kill her, her unborn baby, and her husband. And now y'all want to release all the records of people who was at their stadium seeing the murder. This to intimidate them. You know, and I'm sorry, but I'm glad I'm not a police officer handling that case. I really am. Because I've seen any person that was going to people's homes, squatting and attacking these victims, I'll just step out of my police car and give them a good old-fashioned Texas justice. No jury, no time in prison, straight old-fashioned good ways. You know what old-fashioned Texas justice I'm talking about? Comment in the section below. But I'm gonna warn you, no racist comment, because people lost their lives. And everything. Like that and everything. They saying that our justice system is broke. It's only broke because the damn Democrats who was in power late to get that way. A lot of these illegal suspects came over here because of Joe Biden and Obama. And you don't believe me, look it up. Look it up. Between Joe Biden and Obama, that's 16 years right there. And everything. And everything is a complete shit show. I mean, everything was a complete shit show. Why? Because people who had no common sense voted for those two dumbasses. They voted for Obama because he's black. Not because of his standards, what he did, or his background. No, because he's black. And everything. And they voted for Joe Biden because he pulled the race card. And he was the vice president for Obama. Oh, he was vice president for Obama. No. Two dumbasses don't know what shit going on. Hell, you could put a damn chimpanzee in the White House and we might have a better outcome. That's how I really feel about it. I know some people ain't gonna like the comments I say, but cry me a fucking river. Because there's kids gonna lose their lives and everything. A mama lost a son. She won't be able to hug him no more. Won't be able to hold him no more. You got one kid still out free, but he's going to jail, spend his life in prison. He'll getting fucked all his life by homosexual people. Might have to look over his shoulder all the time, make sure nobody stabs a knife in his back, cause his mommy and daddy scam a lot of people out of money and still ask for money. And all. And now that going after, say they can clear a war on white supremacists. Lady, you basically just handed your own son a death sentence. when he said, oh, we're going to claim war on white supremacists. Because there is the biggest white supremacist group there in Texas. And Falcon, Texas, and other places in Texas. And everything. Here you go on live TV, say you declare war on them. Oh my Lord, lady, oh my Lord. Sweet child, you just opened the gates of hell. Yes, you did. Sorry, I just had to use that old Southern ground in my voice. A little humor, even in a dark situation like this. But, what can you say? What can you say? Let me tell you, it's really sad. You got people say, oh, Commander Anthony's a good guy. Edward, no. Like the old saying, father like son. The sins of the son will be paid by the father, or the sins of the father, the son gotta pay. I know I'm not stuttering, so bite me. Anyway, Commander Anthony's dad had an arrest warrant back in 09 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and still fleeing. I'm just telling you, man. It makes me wondering, what are people actually doing? It's really sad that you send money to the people who actually killed somebody and you bragging about it. That's what I don't get. Okay, I just don't get that shit. I really don't. I truly don't get a lot of motherfucking individuals. And now the police report has been released and everything. I'm about to show that video. I'm just taking care of some stuff right here and everything. Here we go. I'm about to pull the video up now. If this is true, what it said about all this being come to light, man, oh man. Hold on, my computer's giving me some little acting up right now. I got a computer right here back in like 2020. I got my taxes. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. About to pull it up now. Boom. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Alright, here we go. Let me mute the sound off of here. I can get the sound off. Okay, still not. Computer's frozen. Okay. Now let's unmute the sound. Click that right there. It's loading.
The facility in which the was held does video footage of the incident. You wake up to an explosion on social media. It's not a rumor. It's not speculation. It's a full-blown firestorm. Screenshots of alleged text messages have surfaced. Texts that prosecutors claim could connect Carmelo Anthony's parents directly to the events that led to Austin Metcalf's stabbing. The messages are time-stamped, emotionally charged, and already spreading like wildfire across news feeds and group chats. According to court insiders, these aren't just casual conversations. They're being labeled as premeditative indicators, revealing a potential knowledge of or involvement in the events leading up to the incident. Local authorities haven't confirmed whether the texts came from a subpoenaed phone or if they were leaked from a private source. But one thing is certain. The messages reference handling it, knowing where he'd be, and no cameras out front, according to journalists who've reviewed parts of the discovery file. These lines have now been isolated, clipped, and circulated by every major commentary page online. The public's response, outrage, confusion, disbelief, split straight down the middle. Some are calling for immediate arrest and prosecution. Others are demanding that context be shown before judgment is passed. Meanwhile, prosecutors are wasting no time. They've now introduced these texts into their evolving case file, potentially repositioning the narrative entirely. What started as a case focused solely on Carmelo himself has now widened to include the possibility of a coordinated effort. Sources close to the family claim the messages are being misunderstood, taken out of context, and that private group chats don't reflect criminal intent. But in a courtroom, context can be twisted, especially when a life was lost and the court of public opinion has already drawn its own conclusions. Whether these texts hold real legal weight or not, their emotional weight is undeniable. The Anthony family, once unified, now appears fragmented under the spotlight. And as the digital evidence mounts, one question remains. Were these just emotionally charged messages sent in a time of chaos? Or are they the breadcrumbs of something far more calculated? As the leaked text messages continue to circulate, investigators are reportedly retracing every digital footprint leading up to the night of the stabbing. The content of the messages suggests an awareness of Austin Metcalf's movements, down to his location, who he was with, and even how long he'd be there. Law enforcement officials, speaking on background, noted that one particular message, sent hours before the incident, stated, "He's out tonight. We'll handle it if it gets messy." Prosecutors believe this could indicate a prearranged plan, though the defense insists it was vague language referring to a family argument, not a violent confrontation. Digital forensics teams have been brought in to authenticate the messages. The phone data, if verified, could show exact timestamps, sender IDs, and geolocation data at the time each message was sent. This type of evidence is notoriously difficult to discredit once it's presented in court, especially if it can be paired with surveillance footage or eyewitness testimony. And in this case, sources say multiple angles are being explored, including whether the messages were sent from the same area where Metcalf was last seen before the altercation. Public pressure is mounting on the district attorney's office to formally indict Carmelo's parents based on conspiracy. Activists online are demanding further arrests, but the legal system is slower than public outrage, and attorneys representing the Anthony family are already preparing motions to suppress any digital evidence that they claim was obtained without proper warrants. They argue that any leaked text messages released to the public cannot be considered credible until verified through official channels. Meanwhile, supporters of the Metcalf family have begun holding nightly vigils outside the courthouse, holding signs that read, "Justice for Austin" and "Unmask the Truth." The environment around this case is becoming increasingly tense, not just legally, but socially. Media vans line the block. Legal analysts speculate hourly on talk shows. And now, every move Carmelo's parents make is under a microscope. From grocery store visits to legal team meetings, nothing is private anymore. With the court date drawing near and the prosecution stacking evidence, what was once seen as a tragic altercation is now being viewed as a potentially coordinated takedown. And the world is watching every frame, every message, every word. In newly filed court documents obtained late last night, prosecutors are now listing Carmelo Anthony's parents as persons of interest in the facilitation of premeditated violence. This marks the first official signal that the state may be pivoting toward a conspiracy angle in the investigation, something that had only been speculated up until this point. Sources inside the courthouse confirm that the text messages in question are now part of the discovery phase and are expected to be used in the prosecution's opening arguments if the case proceeds to trial. What's especially damning is the language within one particular thread that reportedly includes a message from Carmelo's father reading, "I won't let him disrespect us again. Nobody gets away twice." Analysts are calling this the most aggressive line yet, and are suggesting that it could be framed as intent, especially if it's proven that the message was sent shortly before the fatal encounter. The defense is expected to argue that the words were emotional venting in a private conversation and not instructions or an admission of intent. But prosecutors believe that when paired with the timeline of events, the message takes on a far more sinister meaning. As the legal strategy unfolds, attention is also turning to the digital trail. Phone records, chat logs, and even deleted files recovered from cloud backups are being scoured. Experts say that any attempts to erase or wipe information from devices could be seen as obstruction, further complicating the case for the Anthony family. And right now, with the entire family's devices subpoenaed and under forensic review, prosecutors are betting that the texts are only the beginning. Outside the legal world, the impact is spreading fast. Influencers are dissecting every sentence in the messages. Content creators are building entire theories from emoji usage, and news channels are now allocating daily airtime to trial updates. It's no longer just about what happened to Austin Metcalf. It's about whether a wider plan existed, and if Carmelo's family helped pave the way for that fatal night. All of this is unfolding as the public watches in real time, with trust in the Anthony name hanging by a thread. Surveillance footage now under review may place Carmelo Anthony's father at a nearby convenience store just 90 minutes before the stabbing occurred. According to law enforcement officials familiar with the footage, he appeared to be on the phone, pacing aggressively, and, allegedly, holding what some analysts believe could be the same jacket seen discarded near the scene hours later. Though nothing in the video directly ties him to the confrontation itself, investigators believe this timeline could help corroborate the idea that communication was active and strategic leading up to the incident. This isn't just about a tragic moment anymore. It's starting to resemble a fully interconnected timeline. According to sources close to the investigation, authorities are currently matching cell tower pings from multiple devices belonging to Carmelo's parents, cross-referencing their locations in the hours and days prior. Preliminary data indicates that both phones were pinged from within a half-mile radius of Austin Metcalf's residence on more than one occasion the week of the incident. If that proximity holds up in court, it could bolster prosecutors' claims that the stabbing wasn't spontaneous. There's also growing concern about a group chat that was reportedly archived and only discovered after a second search warrant was executed. This chat allegedly included not only Carmelo and his parents, but at least 2 unidentified relatives. In it, a series of short replies, things like "handle it," "it's time," and "we'll back you," paint a cryptic but potentially explosive picture. Legal experts warn that even vague messages can be weaponized in court, especially if prosecutors can draw a clear line from words to action. Carmelo's legal team is scrambling to get ahead of what they're calling selective framing. They argue that out-of-context texts and circumstantial videos are being twisted into a narrative that doesn't reflect the truth. Their claim is simple. The Anthony family was emotional, not criminal. But with digital trails, time-stamped footage, and a highly charged courtroom atmosphere, the difference between grief and guilt is becoming harder to define in the public eye. Inside the courtroom, the mood has grown darker with each new revelation. One of the most damning pieces of evidence introduced this week was a forensic report confirming that a burner phone, allegedly traced back to Carmelo's mother, was used to send a final message, just 17 minutes before Austin Metcalf was stabbed. The message, according to prosecutors, read, "Keep it clean." That one phrase, though short and vague, has become a centerpiece in the prosecution's argument that this was not only premeditated, but orchestrated with calculated restraint. The defense responded swiftly, claiming the phone in question has never been directly linked to Carmelo's mother. They argue that even if she had possession of it, the message lacks context and could be misinterpreted. Still, for courtroom spectators and analysts, the idea of a hidden phone used in the moments leading up to the stabbing only adds to the narrative that this wasn't a heat-of-the-moment outburst, but rather the final move in a pre-arranged plan. Outside the courthouse, demonstrations are intensifying. Supporters of the Metcalf family have set up daily vigils, holding signs that read, "Justice for Austin," and chanting phrases like "text messages don't lie." Meanwhile, pro-Anthony protesters insist that the messages are being twisted, accusing media outlets of driving a witch hunt against the family. Tensions have even led to scuffles on courthouse steps, with law enforcement forced to separate crowds more than once this week. One courtroom observer noted the shift in Carmelo's demeanor as the texts were read aloud. Gone was the stoic posture he maintained during opening arguments. Instead, he stared straight ahead, clenching his jaw, his hands trembling slightly in his lap. His parents, seated just 2 rows behind him, were equally stone-faced, his mother occasionally whispering to their attorney, his father glancing around the room nervously. Whether the message, "keep it clean," was meant as a warning, a signal, or something else entirely is still up for debate. But in a trial already steeped in speculation, every word now carries weight. And with digital evidence mounting and national attention locked in, the Anthony family's silence is starting to sound louder than anything they've said in their own defense. Just days after the text chain surfaced, a new witness has stepped forward, one who may shift the entire direction of the case. A former classmate of Carmelo's, who's chosen to remain anonymous for now, claims to have seen Carmelo meeting with his parents behind the school gym 2 days before the stabbing. What's raising eyebrows isn't just the meeting, it's what the witness says they overheard. According to their statement, the conversation was tense. Carmelo allegedly told his parents, "He's been talking. I can't let it slide again." The witness admits they didn't hear the entire discussion, but insists the tone was serious, like something was already in motion. That phrase, "I can't let it slide again," is now under review alongside the already mounting digital evidence. Prosecutors believe it could indicate prior altercations or threats between Carmelo and the victim that had not yet come to light. Even more unsettling is the emergence of a private note found in Carmelo's locker during a school investigation. Initially dismissed as irrelevant, the handwritten message read, "It ends Friday, no more warnings." While no names were attached, the note was time-stamped and folded behind a drawing of a knife. That imagery, combined with the timing, has reignited speculation about the extent of planning behind the stabbing. Carmelo's legal team is working quickly to discredit the new witness, citing the timing of their emergence as suspiciously convenient. They're calling into question the accuracy of what the person claims to have heard, arguing that vague statements shouldn't outweigh the presumption of innocence. But in the eyes of the court, a pattern may be forming. Text messages, cryptic notes, eyewitness statements, all pointing toward a chilling possibility that Carmelo wasn't alone in what happened, and that his parents didn't just know, but may have supported it. Still, no official charges have yet been filed against the witness or any new parties. The prosecution remains tight-lipped about whether this statement will be formally introduced in court. But, inside the legal circle, murmurs suggest the case is far from finished, and each new piece only tightens the net around the Anthony family. Now, with mounting public pressure and new evidence surfacing almost daily, the atmosphere surrounding the Anthony case has shifted from one of shock to anticipation. What started as a tragic schoolyard stabbing has exploded into a full-scale criminal investigation, implicating not just a student, but his entire family. Prosecutors are reportedly preparing to present a sealed motion that insiders say may include additional digital communications and timeline reconstructions. If admitted, this could tie Carmelo's parents more directly to the events leading up to the stabbing, possibly justifying accessory charges or even aiding and abetting. Meanwhile, the school district is conducting its own internal investigation. Several parents have expressed outrage that warning signs may have been overlooked. Some say they noticed a change in Carmelo's behavior in the weeks before the stabbing, becoming more withdrawn, more agitated. Others claim he was frequently seen in the parking lot talking to adults who weren't school staff, possibly his parents. One faculty member, speaking anonymously, said they reported a concern to administration about Carmelo's recent attitude shift, but no follow-up ever occurred. As for the online reaction, it's been relentless. The exposed text chain between Carmelo and his parents continues to circulate, with many calling it damning and demanding full transparency. Still, some defend the family, warning the public not to rush to judgment before the legal process plays out. The court of public opinion, however, isn't waiting. Hashtags like #JusticeForAustin and #IndIt. The Anthonys are trending across platforms, while live streams from outside the courthouse draw thousands of viewers at a time. The Anthony family has not issued a new public statement since the leak. Their legal counsel maintains that the messages were taken out of context and that the family is being unfairly vilified in the media. But behind closed doors, sources say they're preparing for the possibility of additional charges, potentially by the end of the month. Whether or not Carmelo's parents will be officially charged remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the case has evolved far beyond a single act of violence. It now questions how far influence can stretch and whether a family's private messages can end up becoming the cornerstone of a criminal trial.
There you have it, folks. I don't think it was spur of the moment. I think it was planned step by step by step. I think it's adding up. and everything. Anybody got too common sense and everything could know something not going right and everything. Come on now. It don't take a rocket scientist to know what's going on. This is planned. Okay? It was all set out and planned. It was not just spur of the moment. No, it was not spur of the moment, people. This was planned, set out, executed. And people say, oh, it was planned. It was not planned, it was spur of the moment. No, it was planned. It was planned, plain and simple. God, I hate when people say, oh, it was not planned, it was spur of the moment. No, it was planned. Okay, what family will have a backup burner phone? Really? What family have a backup burner phone? My family don't have a backup burner phone. Burner phones are used when you want to commit a crime and you don't want to be traced back to you. That's what a burner phone is for. You plan to do a crime you don't want back to you. No, it was planned. It was set up, step by step, and then it was executed. But I know there's a lot of dumbasses out there going to say, oh, it was not planned, it was a spur of the moment. No. They asked him to leave. Mind you don't go to that school. That's my opinions on it. Good night.